She thought her beauty was fading, but it was only sleeping beneath the noise of her own thoughts, waiting to be remembered by the silence of the night, waiting for her to close her eyes and listen to the voice that once told her she was radiant. There was a time when she believed youth was measured by smoothness, by mirrors, by numbers that changed every birthday. But now, as the years have folded softly around her, she begins to wonder if beauty was never meant to be measured at all. What if beauty was an energy, a memory within the body that never dies, but only drifts away when ignored? What if tonight was the night she could call it back? Every woman carries within her a map of her own radiance, and that map is written not on the skin but in the mind, in the rhythm between breath and heartbeat, in the quiet understanding that what the world calls age is only the accumulation of forgotten light. When you lie down and surrender, when you let the world's noise fade and feel the softness of your own existence, something begins to awaken beneath the surface of your awareness. The subconscious, that deep ocean where every memory sleeps, starts to glow. It remembers the way your skin used to respond to sunlight, the way your eyes once reflected pure curiosity, the way your energy moved effortlessly through you when you still trusted life completely. That memory has not died. It has been waiting. And tonight, as you drift toward sleep, that hidden intelligence begins to move again, rewiring every thought that ever told you that beauty fades. Imagine your body as a garden of cells, each one listening to your beliefs like seeds waiting for water. When you think thoughts of exhaustion, they close. When you whisper kindness, they open. When you rest and believe again, they bloom. Even science has begun to notice that cells respond to emotion, that intention can alter biology, that what you believe shapes what you see. Ancient women already knew this. In Egypt, they would speak words of beauty into jars of oil before touching them to their faces. In Japan, they practiced quiet breathing before sleep, believing the night would reshape what the day had taken. In Africa, they danced under the moonlight not for vanity but for renewal, so the body would remember its rhythm and the spirit would remember its joy. They were not chasing youth, they were returning to it, because youth is not an age, it is a frequency, and frequencies can be tuned. Tonight, you are tuning your mind back to that sacred frequency of beauty. You are reminding every cell that it is still capable of glowing, that it is still listening, that it still knows how to heal, how to renew, how to lift and soften and remember. As you breathe deeply, your subconscious begins to rearrange its beliefs about time. It starts to dissolve the idea that age is loss. It begins to replace that thought with something softer, wiser, truer, that age is remembrance, that time does not steal, it refines. The lines on your skin are not failures, they are pathways of experience, carved gently by years of laughter, tears, and sun. But even those lines can lighten when the mind believes again in softness. Even tired skin can glow when the soul feels safe, and safety begins with surrender. So tonight, you surrender to the beauty that has always been yours. You surrender to the intelligence of your own body. You let the night become your mirror. Every breath you take now is an affirmation. Every exhale is a release. Let go of the day, of the noise, of the comparisons. The subconscious is listening. It always has been. It listens not to what you say, but to what you feel. So feel loved, feel worthy, feel luminous, feel as if your skin is drinking light from the inside. The mind cannot distinguish between imagination and reality, and that is your power. You are not pretending, you are programming. You are awakening the ancient ritual of thought becoming flesh. Even experts could not fully explain how women who believed in their beauty began to look younger, how meditation changed hormones, how calmness softened the face. But perhaps there are things that science is only now remembering, that emotion is medicine, that rest is restoration, that beauty begins in belief. You have reached the first phase of transformation, the soft awakening, where your body begins to listen again to your thoughts as commands of creation. Tonight, as you drift, your subconscious begins to clear the dust of disbelief. It removes the imprints of phrases you once heard, too old, too late, too tired, and replaces them with truth, still glowing, still powerful, still loved. You begin to feel warmth in your chest, a subtle pulse beneath your skin, like a rhythm coming from somewhere ancient and familiar. That rhythm is your youth remembering itself. It moves through your bloodstream, carrying new information. You are not fading, you are evolving. You are not behind time, you are ahead of it. You are not becoming less, you are returning to more. This is not the end of beauty. It is the beginning of conscious beauty, where every night becomes a renewal ritual. You start to sense that your mind is not your enemy, that your thoughts are the brushes painting your reflection. And as those thoughts soften, your reflection changes. Your face begins to learn serenity. Your muscles release tension. The tiny micro-signals that govern your skin's elasticity begin to shift. Science might call it relaxation response, but the ancients called it remembrance. You do not have to understand how it works, you only have to feel it working. The subconscious knows what to do. It has always known. It will rewrite the story of your age as you sleep. It will whisper new affirmations in the language of dreams. It will restore the connection between your inner world and your outer glow. There is nothing to force, nothing to prove, only to allow. Let this be your new definition of beauty, the absence of resistance. When the mind stops fighting time, time stops leaving marks. When you stop fearing the years begin to bless you. When you trust the night begins to heal you. You are stepping into that trust now, crossing from the noise of daylight into the soft hum of your own sacred rhythm. What if your skin could listen? What if your dreams were instructions? What if your beauty has been waiting, patient, faithful, ready to return the moment you believed again? You will find out tonight. You will feel it not in an instant miracle, but in a gentle certainty, as if your body sighs in relief, as if something invisible begins to cradle you. That is your youth responding. It never left you. It was only asleep. And you are waking it, tenderly, completely. Each breath deepens your connection to this truth. You are beauty remembering itself. You are consciousness reshaping form. You are the whisper that becomes radiance. You are the frequency that the night recognizes as divine. And as you surrender deeper into rest, your subconscious reprograms itself with love. It releases the tension of striving and absorbs the vibration of grace. Tomorrow, your reflection will not look different, because time reversed, but because perception healed. You will see yourself through gentler eyes, and the world will respond to that vision. The mirror only reflects what the mind believes, so believe again. Believe that every cell is listening. Believe that your body is loyal to your thoughts. Believe that beauty is your birthright, not a memory. Believe that sleep is not escape but transformation. Believe that tonight you are rewriting the code of your youth. As your breathing slows and your awareness fades into stillness, the reprogramming continues on its own. You do not have to control it. It is already done. You are the creator and the creation, the healer and the healed, the woman who dared to believe again. And tomorrow, when light touches your face, it will find peace where tension used to be, softness where doubt used to live, radiance where fear used to hide. The night has done its work. You have remembered who you are. You are beauty, timeless and eternal, flowing gently through every heartbeat. You are the miracle you were waiting for. She woke not to sunlight, but to a new awareness, a feeling that something subtle had shifted, that the weight of the years had loosened its grip, that somewhere between dreaming and waking, her body had relearned how to trust itself. It was not about seeing a change in the mirror yet. It was about sensing it like warmth under the surface, like a melody that had been muted for years now humming softly again. The subconscious never sleeps. While she was resting, it had been rewriting old memories, softening the harsh edges of every thought that ever made her doubt her reflection. This is how beauty returns, not as a spark from the outside, but as a quiet rising from within. Every night she listens. Her cells listen too. The frequencies of her beliefs begin to align with what she desires. She begins to feel that youth was never something she lost. It was something she stopped tuning into. And now, through the rhythm of breath and thought, through the gentle repetition of surrender, she is aligning again with that lost frequency. She remembers stories she once dismissed as myths, stories of women who aged backward through peace, who glowed through silence, who looked younger not because of what they applied, but because of what they released. Ancient women who meditated before dawn, who blessed their water before drinking, who spoke to their skin as if it was sacred soil. They did not chase beauty, they cultivated it. And now she understands. Modern science calls it neuroplasticity, the ability of the brain to change through thought. But the ancients called it alchemy, the art of transforming one state into another through the power of intention. And that is what is happening to her now. Alchemy in the dark, transformation through stillness. Her mind is dissolving the old patterns that said she must decay, that she must accept decline. It is replacing them with truth, that the body renews itself constantly, that skin cells regenerate, that perception shapes physiology. Even experts admit that belief alters hormones, that gratitude slows aging, that peace restores. But none of that matters as much as the feeling of knowing, of remembering that this is who she always was. The more she believes in her beauty, the more the subconscious confirms it. The more she feels radiant, the more her body responds. This is not magic, it is memory. The body obeys what the mind whispers. And now each night she whispers love. She whispers gratitude for the skin that protected her, for the wrinkles that tell stories, for the softness that has returned. She no longer fights her age, she befriends it. And through that friendship, something miraculous happens. The years begin to serve her instead of steal from her. She becomes the woman who glows without trying, who walks through a room and carries serenity as her perfume. The subconscious keeps programming itself in every breath. It takes her emotions as instructions. It shapes her biology to match her beliefs. So she chooses faith. She chooses softness. She chooses renewal. Every night as she lies down, she imagines her cells realigning, her skin remembering, her face relaxing. She imagines her energy moving through her spine, through her heart, through her face, awakening every forgotten rhythm. What if beauty is not about changing how we look, but remembering how we feel when we love ourselves completely? What if the true reversal of age begins not in the skin, but in the silence between thoughts? She begins to sense that she is part of something bigger, a lineage of women who rediscovered themselves through rest, who learned that the night is not an ending, but a sacred space of creation. The moon becomes her mirror now, soft and forgiving, constant, yet always new. She learns that darkness is not absence of light, it is light gestating, and every time she closes her eyes, her inner light grows stronger. Her body listens to that rhythm. The subconscious translates energy into matter. The muscles of her face receive the message of calm. The tension releases, the lines smooth slightly. Not forced, not artificial, but natural, as if her own spirit is smoothing them from within. And while no one else may see the process yet, she feels it. She feels her youth like a fragrance returning, familiar and tender. She realizes beauty was never stolen. It was simply waiting for her faith. She used to think beauty was about doing. Now she understands it is about allowing. The act of allowing reopens the channels of energy, and through those channels the mind speaks to the skin. The heart speaks to the hormones, the soul speaks to the body. This is why ancient rituals always began with silence, because silence is the language the subconscious understands best. In silence, every command becomes clear. And tonight, that command is renewal. The energy moves through her as she drifts into sleep again, reprogramming every layer of her being. It tells the collagen to awaken. It tells the blood to circulate softly. It tells the cells to repair. It tells the mind to rest. There is no resistance now. The subconscious does not question, it creates. It paints her reflection anew with every heartbeat. She is becoming the embodiment of softness, the proof that beauty does not fade. It transforms. Her dreams take her to a garden where time does not exist. There, she meets herself. Not the younger self she remembers, but the timeless self who has always been there. That self smiles at her not with superiority but with recognition. It tells her that youth was never lost, it was stored, waiting for the day she stopped running from herself. And when she wakes, she carries that message in her body. The world seems gentler. The mirror seems kinder. Her reflection feels like an ally again. Even the small imperfections she once tried to hide now look like poetry, lines of wisdom, contours of living. She feels more alive, and that aliveness shows. It radiates. Others might notice and call it glow, but she knows it is remembrance. Her subconscious continues the work long after she wakes. Every thought of gratitude strengthens the new programming. Every act of self-love deepens the change. She drinks water and imagines it carrying renewal into her cells. She touches her face and blesses it. She breathes deeply and feels her energy circulate. Everything becomes ritual. The boundary between science and spirit disappears because both are languages of the same truth. What you believe, you become. And so, she continues, night after night, rewriting her story, one breath, one dream, one affirmation at a time. The more she trusts, the faster the transformation unfolds. She begins to notice that peace feels addictive, that serenity becomes her new beauty routine, that confidence is her best cosmetic, that faith is her fountain of youth. The subconscious records all of this, creating pathways that reinforce these feelings until they become her natural state. Soon she no longer tries to believe, she simply does. Her mind, her body, her energy all agree. She is radiant, she is whole, she is timeless. And as she rests again tonight, she thanks the night for its loyalty, for the way it holds her transformation without judgment. She thanks her subconscious for listening. She thanks her body for remembering. The ritual is not over. It is eternal. Every night brings another layer of healing, another whisper of youth. And as she drifts into deeper sleep, she feels her consciousness dissolve into pure light, pure softness, pure renewal. This is how she reprograms her beauty, not through control, but through surrender. The process is invisible, but its effects are inevitable. She is no longer becoming young again, she is becoming true again, and truth never ages. She begins to realize that this reprogramming is not only changing the way her skin feels, but the way her soul perceives herself. For years, she had been taught to chase youth like something that was slipping away, as if beauty were a race and time the cruel competitor. But now she understands that time is not against her. It is her teacher. It has been guiding her back to softness, back to stillness, back to the sacred feminine wisdom that once ruled the rhythm of nature. The more she listens, the more she feels that youth was never meant to be a stage. It was always meant to be a state of harmony. The subconscious responds to harmony the way flowers respond to light. And every night as she sleeps, it absorbs her faith like water. Each breath she takes sends new commands to the body. Relax, repair, renew, remember. It is not forced, it is flowing, like a current of calm moving through her. And as she releases the constant need to control her appearance, her energy realigns itself to creation. It is here that the true transformation begins. Her nervous system slows, her hormones balance. Her face releases the tension of years of self-criticism. The night becomes her sanctuary again. In the deep quiet of her room, where the only sound is her own breathing, her subconscious begins to speak louder than her doubts. It tells her that the same intelligence that heals wounds also restores radiance, that the same body that carried her through life still knows how to regenerate. The universe did not design her to fade. It designed her to evolve. She feels this truth as warmth beneath her chest, a soft glow that spreads upward like dawn beneath her skin. She had always thought beauty came from adding, more products, more effort, more layers, but the real secret is subtraction. Every time she releases tension, every time she forgives herself for aging, every time she breathes with love instead of fear, her natural beauty reveals itself again. Even experts can't measure that moment when the body shifts from stress to trust, when the cells stop defending and start healing, but it can be felt, deeply, profoundly, unmistakably. That is what is happening to her now. She feels her body working with her, not against her. She feels her mind becoming her ally. She feels that her skin listens to her thoughts and responds to her calmness. Her heart, once heavy with regret, now feels light with gratitude. The woman who once chased youth now radiates it, because she has stopped chasing altogether. She has returned to her essence, and essence does not age. It deepens, it refines, it glows. In ancient temples, priestesses used to chant before sleep, aligning their breath with the pulse of the earth. believing that the planet itself breathed with them. Those chants were not about words, but vibration. They reprogrammed the subconscious through rhythm. The same rhythm now flows through her, the slow, loving rhythm of a woman who knows she is whole. She no longer looks at her reflection for approval. She looks to remember herself. She touches her skin and feels alive, not because it is flawless, but because it is hers. She feels connected again to the body she once criticized, and through that connection, youth returns like an old friend. She realizes that beauty is not external at all. It is relational. It is the relationship between mind and body, between thought and form, between belief and biology. And when that relationship is restored, miracles happen in silence. Her subconscious continues to reshape itself, following the path of least resistance. Every night she gives it the same message: I am safe, I am loved, I am beautiful. And because the subconscious only understands feeling, not logic, it translates those emotions into physical harmony. The skin begins to repair faster, the breath deepens, the muscles rest, and the glow becomes real. This is the hidden science of self-love. It does not need to be understood, it needs to be felt. She now sees that the women who glow effortlessly are not lucky. They are peaceful. They have learned to rest without guilt, to love themselves without condition, to surrender without fear. And that is what she is learning too. That softness is power. That silence is medicine. That the night is her most loyal healer. Every evening as she lies down, she enters a sacred space between worlds, the conscious and the subconscious, the seen and the unseen. There she rewrites not only her beliefs about aging, but about worth. She remembers that she was never supposed to earn beauty. She was born with it. And now that truth vibrates through her with every heartbeat, what if beauty was never meant to be chased but trusted? What if every wrinkle is simply the skin's way of remembering joy? What if the greatest anti-aging secret is peace? These questions flow through her as she drifts deeper into the night, and the answers rise gently, not as words but as sensations. The feeling of being whole again, the knowing that nothing was ever lost. She feels the years as layers of experience, each one adding depth to her glow. She feels the night air against her face as a blessing, cool and forgiving. She feels her heartbeat slow, her body surrender, her energy harmonize. And in that harmony, youth becomes effortless again. She begins to realize that her subconscious is now her greatest ally. It is no longer filled with programs of comparison or fear. It is filled with truth. It has learned to respond to love like a mirror. It reflects what she believes, and because she now believes in her eternal beauty, that is what her body reflects back to the world. This is not illusion. It is the highest form of truth, the merging of mind and matter in perfect cooperation. The transformation is not a performance, it is a homecoming. The woman she once was has returned. The spark that once lived behind her eyes now burns steady and warm. The softness around her lips tells stories of laughter rediscovered. The glow beneath her skin is no longer borrowed. It is remembered. And as she sleeps again, her subconscious continues the sacred work, repairing, rejuvenating, restoring. The night becomes an ally, time becomes a friend, and her reflection becomes a message. Beauty never leaves the woman who believes she still carries it. She smiles softly in her sleep, knowing that the process will deepen with every night. Tomorrow she will wake lighter, calmer, more certain. And the world will feel it too, because true beauty does not need to be seen to be known. It radiates from presence alone. She feels now that the night has become her most trusted mirror, not of how she looks, but of what she is becoming. Each time she closes her eyes, she meets herself on a deeper level, beyond age, beyond the surface, beyond even her name. There is only awareness, breathing, expanding, glowing. The transformation no longer feels like a goal. It feels like a memory returning. She realizes that what she calls reprogramming is not creation from nothing but remembrance of everything she once knew instinctively. Before the noise of comparison, before the fear of time, before the world taught her to measure her worth by reflections, she already knew she was radiant. That wisdom lives in her bones, in her blood, in the rhythm of her heart. The subconscious does not forget, it only waits. And now, as she rests between sleep and wakefulness, it begins to open the doors she once closed with doubt. It shows her images, not of the past but of essence, the eternal self untouched by years, still luminous, still soft, still beautiful. She begins to feel how much energy she had spent resisting time instead of collaborating with it. Now that resistance dissolves, and with it dissolves the tension etched into her skin, the fatigue that hid behind her eyes, the heaviness around her thoughts. What replaces it is not youth as society defines it, but vitality. The quiet confidence of someone who knows her light is infinite. Her subconscious begins to harmonize her body with that truth. Hormones shift, breath deepens, the muscles around her eyes soften, the nervous system calms, and her body enters a state of deep restoration that even the most advanced treatments cannot imitate. The body always knew how to heal, it only needed permission, and permission comes through belief. Belief is the bridge between thought and matter. She now walks that bridge every night, barefoot and fearless, knowing that each step she takes across the bridge of belief reshapes her reality. She no longer says, "I am getting old." She says, "I am becoming complete." She no longer fears what the mirror will reveal. She anticipates it as a witness to her evolution. The reflection now serves her, not defines her. The light within her has become her true cosmetic, subtle yet undeniable. Even the air around her seems to respond, carrying her peace outward like a fragrance. She understands now that when women reclaim their inner rhythm, the world around them changes too. Environments soften, relationships deepen, and even time bends to match their serenity. This is the hidden secret the ancients tried to teach. The woman who is at peace with herself commands the elements. In Egypt, they spoke of Isis, whose tears created the Nile. In India, they sang to Shakti, whose energy moved mountains. In Japan, they revered Amaterasu, whose light fed the world. Those goddesses were not legends. They were archetypes of women who remembered. And tonight, she remembers too. She understands that beauty is not a mask, but an energy that flows through those who honor themselves. When she sleeps now, her dreams are no longer escapes but ceremonies. She enters temples of light, where her subconscious receives instructions from something divine. The message is always the same: soften, trust, return. Return to the rhythm of the earth, to the grace of the moon, to the patience of water. These are not metaphors, they are frequencies that the body recognizes. When she imagines moonlight touching her skin, the cells respond as if it were real. When she imagines water flowing through her, her circulation improves. When she imagines herself surrounded by peace, her nervous system resets. This is the sacred technology of the feminine subconscious, the art of feeling into transformation. She realizes that nothing external ever truly made her beautiful. It only reminded her of what she already was. Now her mind is the sculptor, and her belief the brush. She paints new patterns each night, strokes of serenity across the canvas of her being. The wrinkles that once felt like cracks now feel like golden lines of experience, threads of wisdom woven into radiance. She no longer wishes to erase them, she blesses them. Because even the moon shines brighter through its shadows, and so does she. Her subconscious continues to absorb these truths, strengthening the program of love, releasing the old coding of fear. With every repetition, the transformation stabilizes. Her body becomes fluent in harmony. Her mind becomes fluent in peace. She feels light, not because she is trying to be, but because she has stopped trying at all. That effortless beauty that people notice in women who have nothing to prove, that is what she is becoming. It is not a glow of performance, but of presence. Her subconscious recognizes this presence as its natural home. The thoughts that once triggered stress now dissolve before they can reach her body. The memories that once hurt now appear neutral, even beautiful, as lessons. The future no longer scares her because she feels time bending around her belief. She knows that every night is an opportunity to rewrite tomorrow. The body she will wake up in depends on the thoughts she falls asleep with. And tonight those thoughts are pure tenderness. She thinks of her hands, once restless, now calm, of her breath, once shallow, now deep, of her heart, once guarded, now open. She thinks of herself not as aging but as unfolding, like a flower that has just reached full bloom and still continues to open petal by petal. She whispers inwardly, "I am the rhythm of renewal. I am the memory of youth. I am the stillness that restores." And the subconscious listens, imprinting every word as command. The transformation deepens beyond the physical now. Her energy field shifts, her aura brightens, her presence expands. Even her dreams begin to feel lighter. She walks through gardens of light, through oceans of calm, through skies of gold, each one a metaphor for her state of being. She realizes she has become the dream itself. When she finally wakes, there is no dramatic change, only a soft one, the kind that feels like grace. Her eyes seem clearer, her smile gentler, her voice slower, her movements more deliberate. People begin to sense it before they understand it. They may say she looks rested, glowing, happy, but she knows the truth. She is reprogrammed. She is living from the inside out. The process is not finished. It will never truly finish, because growth is infinite. Every night deepens it, refines it, beautifies it. She no longer counts the days or the years. She counts the moments of stillness. Those moments have become her sacred currency, her secret wealth. She understands that this is not a practice, but a way of being, a return to the original design of the feminine, cyclical, intuitive, powerful, and calm. She lies down again, the night air cool against her skin, her heart quiet but strong. The subconscious opens its gates once more, ready to record new truth. And she gives it only one command now: remember my beauty, and never forget again. As that thought echoes through her, it becomes a rhythm, a vibration, a light. It expands beyond her body, touching everything she loves, blessing everyone she meets. Because a woman who remembers her beauty unconsciously heals others. Her energy becomes medicine. Her silence becomes song. Her rest becomes renewal for the world. She is no longer just one woman reprogramming her subconscious. She is part of the reawakening of all women who have forgotten that beauty was never about time. And as the night holds her, the earth listens, the stars seem to hum, and the cycle continues. Peace leading to radiance, radiance leading to faith, faith leading to love. This is the rhythm of eternal youth, and it lives inside her now forever. She lies in silence, the air still, her mind a soft ocean of calm awareness. The reprogramming has reached its deepest layer now, the place where belief becomes biology, where energy becomes expression, where every heartbeat rewrites the story of who she is. In this space, there are no years, no clocks, no decay, only memory and renewal intertwining like waves in endless rhythm. She begins to sense her subconscious as something vast, ancient, almost divine, a field of intelligence that remembers the first moment she felt beautiful, the first time she laughed freely, the first time her reflection smiled back without judgment. Those memories return now not as images but as sensations, warmth on the skin, lightness in the breath, peace in the bones. This is where youth truly lives, not in the surface, but in the vibration of remembrance. The more she allows herself to feel this, the more her entire being harmonizes with it. Her skin begins to breathe again, releasing the invisible tension that had built up over years of self-criticism. Her heartbeat slows, matching the rhythm of the earth. Her cells, bathed in the frequency of belief, awaken to new instructions: regenerate, brighten, restore. They listen to every emotion like an ancient choir responding to its conductor. The conductor is her intention, and tonight it plays the symphony of renewal. The subconscious does not rush. It creates through patience. It knows that true transformation happens in softness, not in struggle. The modern world taught her that effort equals results, but the night teaches her that surrender equals power. She feels that power now, quiet, graceful, absolute. It flows through her spine, her chest, her face, her very aura. Her beauty is no longer something she must achieve. It has become the natural state of her alignment. She has returned to the original frequency of her being, the one that every child radiates before the world teaches them to doubt. It is the energy of trust. It is the essence of innocence, but reborn with wisdom. She realizes that the most beautiful women are not the ones who resist time, but the ones who dance with it. And now she is dancing again, effortlessly, in the rhythm of breath and belief. The subconscious records this new dance as her truth. Each night it deepens the groove of this rhythm until it becomes instinct. Soon her mind will no longer even remember what it felt like to doubt her reflection. Only peace will remain. And from that peace, radiance blooms like morning light after endless dusk. She remembers reading once that emotions have colors, and she imagines hers now, soft rose, golden white, gentle lavender. These are not fantasies, they are frequencies. The body feels them, responds to them, glows with them. Even her dreams become lighter. She dreams of floating above oceans of silver, of walking through gardens where everything breathes with her. These dreams are not escape but integration, the subconscious showing her the shape of her healing. Every element in those dreams is a mirror. The water reflecting fluidity, the light reflecting awareness, the garden reflecting growth. She wakes sometimes in the middle of the night and feels as if she is being rewritten in silence, as if thousands of invisible hands of energy are weaving her body with care. And she knows it is not imagination. It is intelligence. It is her higher mind guiding her body to wholeness. What if beauty was never something to gain, but something to remember? What if the wrinkles were not signs of aging, but reminders of how deeply she has lived? What if youth was not a phase, but a vibration that never stops singing, only quiets until we listen again? These thoughts are no longer questions for her. They are realizations. She understands now why some women seem untouched by age. They have learned to live from within. They do not seek energy from the world. They radiate it into the world. That is the true secret, and it has always been free. She feels humbled by its simplicity. The subconscious, now cleansed of the noise of fear, becomes like still water, perfectly reflective. And in that reflection, she sees herself not as she was, not as she will be, but as she truly is, eternal. This realization changes everything. The anxiety that used to rise when she noticed a new line no longer comes. The temptation to compare disappears. She feels liberated, as if a lifelong tension has finally exhaled. Her energy becomes magnetic. People feel calmer in her presence, not because she speaks softer, but because her frequency speaks first. Beauty has become her atmosphere. She feels it in her body, the ease in her posture, the grace in her movement, the balance in her breath. Even her mind begins to age backward, shedding layers of worry, revealing curiosity again. She finds herself smiling for no reason, humming, touching her face with tenderness instead of judgment. Every act becomes sacred. Washing her face feels like a blessing. Drinking water feels like ceremony. Sleeping feels like prayer. The subconscious loves repetition, and these rituals become its language. Each gentle act tells it, I am safe, I am whole, I am radiant. And so, it keeps responding, night after night, reinforcing the code of youth. She no longer wonders how long it will take. Time has no meaning in transformation. What matters is devotion, the quiet consistency of belief. She knows now that one night of true faith can reverse years of doubt. Not in an instant miracle, but in a chain reaction of healing that begins in the mind and ripples through the flesh. That is happening to her now. The process is invisible, but she feels it, the subtle warmth under her skin, the clarity behind her eyes, the gentleness in her smile. This is not a fantasy, it is physiology guided by faith. The subconscious creates according to emotion, and emotion is the purest prayer. Her prayers now are wordless, made of gratitude and surrender. She feels the presence of something divine within her, not outside, not watching, but breathing through her. It tells her that beauty is not something she will become. It is what she has always been. She is not learning it. She is remembering it. She is returning home to herself. The night deepens, and with it, the reprogramming completes another cycle. The energy of renewal circulates like golden light through every cell, whispering the same message over and over. You are eternal. You are radiant. You are whole. And as her consciousness drifts away, that message imprints into her subconscious once more, becoming not just belief, but being. She sleeps peacefully, knowing the transformation will continue long after her mind rests. Tomorrow she will wake with a heart lighter than before, a face softer than yesterday, and a soul even more certain that beauty is not found and it is remembered.